Author's House.
I'm really excited to be conducting this interview with the author of Earth Chief, James Thulin. Before I ask you a few questions, James, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I start started writing Earth Chief back in '92. The first Earth Chief book that was published in 1999, and it I first had a song that I recorded called Earth Chief that led to it, and so I developed this story over the years in the '90s, and I had a lot of input from other people that helped me write a really great book, great story that um, actually I kind of touched on it as time went on. I've been at it for like 32 years. And so it's kind of an on off project. And so finally, 2023, after writing two screenplays, Earth Chief screenplays, it gave me much better dialogue development and character development. And I had a bunch more new, very exciting, adventurous scenes that led to the 2023 revision of Earth Chief that will be available soon.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, it's a little closer to where you want it to be after creating this book, Earth Chief. Can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind Earth Chief and how the idea for the book came about?
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. Back in '79, I know I'm an old guy, but I went to Devil's Lake State Park in Wisconsin. I just turned 18, and we go up there to get beers, and so we went to the state park, and I saw this bird mound. It's the marquee effigy at the park. They're mound builders. There's a bunch of other mounds, but this big bird mound, I just found amazing. With the plaque and everything, and I'm like, there's a story here, and I'm just sitting there envisioning this bird man coming out of the bird mound and saving the world from aliens or something. It was a very inspirational moment. And so from there, I wrote a song, Earth Chief, years later, and it kind of had the spirits that were buried, it's a burial mound, combining as one being and in the song. And then that inspired me further I'm like, hey, write a novel. So that's what I started in '92. So
Well,
that's how it came about.
I like how the vision came about and how your idea started. You seem very excited about it, which is very enticing on how we can start reading the book. What were some of the challenges or struggles you faced while writing the book?
Actually, right after, like 6 months after I started writing in '92, my brother, Fran, died suddenly. And, his death was very, impacted me greatly, of course. And I wrote this really nice song that I recorded, uh, Better Place, for him. And that just inspired me further to, hey, you don't know how long you're going to be around, to get writing this novel. And so I got into the writing a lot more. Maybe in the grieving state, I started writing more, and then I really got into it. So that was a major struggle, but it was, it fueled my writing tenacity.
I agree. It pushed you to the right direction, right?
Right.
And can you share any interesting experiences or moments that occurred during the writing process of this book?
Yeah, there's something kind of amusing. I knew these women that were into romance novels, and they're like, hey, if you want women readers, you got to put some of this stuff in there. in your book, and then it'll sell like hotcakes." And I'm like, "Yeah, right." But so they're reading me these parts of the romance novels, and I'm like, "My God, that's racy stuff." So I put that in there with the story, and it it works. There's like three major love stories in the book, and it feeds to it. It fed to it quite well.
Well, there's no harm in getting some romance into different types of novels.
No, they were a
I'm glad
good
you
influence, actually.
I'm glad you got into some different you acknowledge other perspectives into
Right.
your writing process. How did you approach the portrayal of Native American culture and traditions in Earth Chief? Did you conduct any research or consult with experts?
What I did do, as far as historical research, was there's okay. This is 12th century, Mississippian tribes, and the big city was Cahokia, which is like East St. Louis nowadays, where it was, and they got a nice park there with the like pyramidic mound and everything. But anyway, so I read up on that, and there's a big Cahokian Queen is a chapter in there that there's a Cahokia, city life. Lone Hawk, the main character, he's a primitive from up north, and he goes down what today is the Mississippi, and he lives the city life, and it's a very entertaining chapter in the book, Cahokian Queen. And but as far as Lone Hawk, where he's from, Devil's Lake State Park, Wisconsin, they're mound building tribes that there's not much history about them. So I kind of was winging it. I have them. They grow corn. They got cornfields, and their their homes are like earth homes. And I think that's realistic. And so I kind of I made up a lot of that stuff, but it's in the Native American groove, but kind of more relatable maybe
Mhm.
to modern folk, us nowadays.
Easier for people to relate to.
Right.
And the protagonist, Chief Lone Hawk, embarks on a journey to find a powerful magical sphere. Can you discuss the significance of this quest and its impact on the story?
Yeah. By the way, he's not Chief Lone Hawk. The the quote from his uncle that went with him on the you know journey to Cahokia. He called him Chief Lone Hawk because he was telling him about the magical sphere that this weird Earth Chief tribe has. That has all this power. So he's telling him, "You get that sphere, you'll have an empire." So Lone Hawk was a very ambitious guy. He did want to be chief of his tribe, but he's like, "God, if I can get that sphere, I'll be, ruler of this whole, as far as, the world we know." So he's got big aspirations. And, but anyways, the sphere, once he gets there, and the Princess Rainbow of the tribe, once she guides him to the sphere in this cave, he finds out that he's got a lot more responsibility than he expected, and he's expected to save the world like in the future. He's like, "Oh, I don't want this. I just wanted the power of the sphere." So he's bestowed this honor, and he's in denial, and finally he accepts it. That he's got to be the savior of the world. You know he's not going to be a chief with his empire. He's got a much higher purpose.
So with great power comes great responsibility, as we
Right.
in the book, Lone Hawk encounters a strange spirit-like breed of men who capture him. Can you delve into the motivations and characteristics of these characters?
Yeah, these would be the gray aliens. He's abducted by these gray aliens, and the Earth Force told him, "Know your enemy well," and he was referring to these gray aliens. So they abducted him, and he called them the Owlman. And what the reason they abducted him was actually to mechanically inject the soul of their, you know, leader, which is a spheroid entity, um, into his soul, because they wanted to own this guy, the aliens, because he's emanating this Earth Force vibe that attracts them to him. So he's basically possessed by two different forces, good and evil. So
Now, revenge seems to be a central theme in Earth Chief. Can you elaborate on the role revenge plays in the story and how it drives the protagonist?
yeah, um, during his alien abduction, he has a very prominent character, actually, a hawk named Screecher. Well, when he's being they're they got him on his knees. They're putting these devices into his head and everything. This Screecher, the hawk, comes down and tries to save him. So he's attacking the aliens, but they give him a phaser burst and kill the hawk. And so when he comes to the next day, he declares revenge for the hawk spirit, avenging the hawk spirit, and revenge against the leader of these gray aliens that he intends to seek out, and destroy. But it didn't quite work out that way. So
Well, we'll find out more in the book.
revenge was a big factor.
The book also explores the concept of an outer being rocking planet Earth and capturing its soul. Can you discuss the inspiration behind this concept and its significance in the narrative?
Yeah, that would be Lone Hawk's alter being, uh, who becomes like the Earth Chief in the future when he 900 years later emerges from the mound. And I just happen to have a picture. This is the creature, the Birdman creature that he becomes. This is my 1992 illustration, by the way. So I just thought, little show and tell.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, as an author, what message or theme do you hope readers take away from Earth Chief?
Well, teamwork is a big thing, because Lone Hawk could never have defeated have a chance against this alien entity, omnipotent alien entity, without these warrior spirits he recruits in the spirit world. And Xavier Bragnon, he's the park ranger that he mind melds with. And so he joins it. They have a big battle later on. And so teamwork, and there's forgiveness and redemption are big, because there's a lot of that going on, because people mess up and they got to apologize and all that. And just love and friendship is more appreciated. And, you know, it inspires overcoming your weaknesses and being a better person.
Well, I like that. You got me at being a better person. So there's a
Yeah.
lot to learn with just that message that you said. Um, given that it took you 32 years to complete the book and all the struggles that you've also gone through, what advice would you give to aspiring writers who are facing their own struggles and challenges in the writing process?
I would say, you know, make sure you got a subject matter that really wows you. I mean, you're just so into it. You want to write about it. You're envisioning it, you know? And when you're working on it, just you got the big picture, the whole book you're going to write, but think of it incrementally in chapters leading up to the end and everything through, and enjoy the process. Because if it's really, a storyline that, you're so into, you go chapter to chapter and you're virtually living vicariously through it. I mean, I'm talking about sci-fi fantasy, of course, but whatever you're writing, you know, it's got to wow you. And but think of it in increments, towards the end goal. instead of looking at the big picture all the time, because that can discourage you when you think about how much work it is, but enjoy the process.
Well, I agree with you what you said. So I like that bits by bits, conquer every little thing as you get into the big thing. So that's
Mhm.
great advice. How has your personal journey as a writer influenced the themes and characters in Earth Chief?
That was a hard one. My personal things in my personal life, the songwriting um, affected the themes and the characters a lot. And like I have one song that I wrote, "Pay the Viper." It kind of represents the evil alien villain of the story, and Earth Chief, of course, that's another one, and um, that's about it. Well, there was one thing I wanted to note, that Xavier, one of the second main character, he, there's kind of a little biography about him, you know, in the story, and he's forced to go to Catholic school, high school, as I was, and he got into football and everything, and that was a thing that got him into the teamwork spirit, because he was kind of an introvert. But for me, it's kind of different. At Catholic high school, I had 4 years English with the same teacher, really tough and everything. And I think he inspired me to really be a decent writer someday, uh, a good writer, maybe exceptional.
Well,
So,
thank you for sharing that piece and getting that in there. Um, were there any particular authors or books that inspired you while writing Earth Chief?
I would say I didn't really read any books that contributed to it, but movies, as far as the alien side, like Spielberg's Close Encounters of a Third Kind, and this Whitley Strieber movie, Communion. It's the gray alien side of the story, but mostly like the development of Earth Chief was just kind of organic through me without reading any other authors.
Well, I like how your imagination runs. Um, can you share any memorable feedback or reactions you've received from readers of the book?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. They're like, yeah, really cool superhero story and everything, but why does he have to be so big? Yeah, the Earth Chief. He's giant. Well, he comes out of this giant bird mound, so he kind of you know, has to fit in that thing. So I'm thinking, really tall. And at the time, 92, I was living in this apartment building in Chicago, seventh floor, and I'm thinking, yeah, he'd be about this tall. So giant. I know it's huge. The guy's huge, but
Well,
that's one thing they said. And another thing, they're like, hey, those racy scenes in there, they're a little too intense. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So anyway, I think that's what led to this current edition, 2023. I toned that stuff down.
well, thank you for
So
sharing that. What do you find most rewarding about being an author and specifically about writing Earth Chief?
um, the fact that I was able to live vicariously through these characters with such excellent adventures, that like no person's going to experience. But that's the fun about writing, sci-fi fantasy genre, is these characters are, you know, with all the there's a lot of supernatural magic going on and everything, and it's just, I find that stuff incredibly entertaining. And so, as I was writing, I was kind of, living it. And I'm like, I'm no major Braveheart, but my characters are Braveheart. So it's kind of that bravery trip, big factor.
Are there any future projects or books that you are currently working on or planning to write?
Yeah, I have a Earth Chief book sequel that I'm like halfway done. That's really good. So it's there's a sequel. You can kind of tell by the story, the original book, it's very open-ended. Like, yeah, there's gonna be a sequel, and of course there is. And so there's that, and I got this paranormal witness book planned that is kind of autobiographical. I know, roll your eyes, if you will. But I've had some experiences at this house I had year 2000. So that book would be really, really neat. And firsthand, documentary, basically. And so that it's kind of a fringe thing, but I'm into the paranormal, and it you know
And
had some
um,
real experiences.
James, where can we purchase your book?
It'll be available, I guess, Amazon, and I'm starting up a website too, so I think it'll be available then. But a few months in the future,
Okay, well, we'll
it'll be
look
available.
out for the book. And lastly, how was your experience working with Authors Press?
Oh, they've been great. They been very helpful, and I was really kind of hesitant about the website idea, but then um, the book manager, he convinced me that hey, this will be great. Don't just roll with it, and you'll see that when you get some interaction with fans and everything, you're gonna love it. So hey, I'm looking forward to it. Once it's up and running, hey, I'll be well involved.
Well, I'm glad you trusted us, and we thank you for partnering with us on this adventure. And it was great talking to you today.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's nice meeting you.
Authors Press.